Hello, YouTube pipe community. This is my introduction to the YTPC. It's my first video, and I actually filmed another video just before filming this one, and it was yet another box opening. I wanted to get everything out and actually smoke something that I had just purchased, so that's why this is my second film video, but I'm posting it first as an introduction. So um, I smoking a Mark Twain. And one of the things that I picked up was 1 ounce of Sutliff vanilla custard. And I've been looking for my favorite vanilla flavored aromatics, or at least something with a little bit of vanilla in it. And this was suggested, so I thought I'd give it a shot. Um, I have Cult Conspiracy, which has a nice vanilla note to it. And let's see, I have at least one more. I think there's another Cult as well that has a slight vanilla note, but I actually bought it and haven't even tried it yet. So let's give this a shot. There we go. I got it going and then it went out. I think I hadn't dried it enough. It probably needed maybe 15, 20 minutes, and I'd only given it 5 or 10. Um, so I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself and why I created a channel. And I'm not sure how often I'm going to be posting. I'm not here to become a YouTube millionaire. So I just wanted to provide a specific piece of content. So that'll be coming. This is nice. I'm still not getting a lot of flavor out of it, but I guess that's a common problem with aromatics. Little tinge of sweetness. Room notes nice. It's probably a common story. I started smoking a pipe partially because my grandfather smoked a pipe, and he was from a very poor rural area of southern Italy. He was born in 1888. Um, I I hope I don't look old enough to have a grandfather born in 1888, but he was old when my father was born, and my father was old when I was born. And I remember him sitting outside on the porch, and he had only one pipe. He was not a collector like probably most of us, most of you watching the video, and myself. Um, I don't think he smoked more than one variety of tobacco. And I think it was a, I think it, I think it had an Italian flag on it. Um, I feel like it was probably the classic tobacco of the Italian American immigrant in the early 1900s, and he probably smoked it his whole life. That's my guess. Maybe one of you out there knows what I'm talking about. I think this is getting better. I'm not quite getting the smoke as dense as I'd like, so, but I'm getting some nice flavor. Um, and when I saw my grandfather smoking, he looked content, and he seemed to just be staring off, not talking, not listening to anything, no music on. He was just relaxing, and he seemed content. He was at the end of his life, and he seemed to be looking out across it saying, that went well. And so I associate contentedness with pipe smoking. I'm not sure the pipe itself gave him that contentedness, but maybe it helped on the margins a bit. So maybe I'm chasing a bit of that contentedness uh, by picking up this hobby last year during the pandemic, when I think maybe a lot of us needed to relax and needed to be a little more content. So as to why I started the channel, I first started smoking around maybe September 2020, somewhere around there. And I'm very health conscious. I exercise. I eat a lot of broccoli, fruits, vegetables, and I'm interested in health science and nutrition science. So even though I'm not a scientist, that's not my career, but it's a subject that I'm interested in. And before I started smoking, I wanted to look at, well, is there any hard data on health and pipe smoking? And it turns out that I was able to find quite a bit. Um, so I wanted to look at the data specifically, and obviously my conclusion is that you can smoke at least a little bit, or at least I'm comfortable with the risks of smoking at least a little bit. But how much, how often, what are the risks? And I just couldn't find anyone that was giving me a good, clear explanation of uh, of what we know about the science. So I uh, I did some googling. I found there was a there was a doctor who I think had given some speeches at some pipe clubs, maybe, or maybe pipe show, and he had a list of studies related to smoking and health, and a lot on pipe smoking. There's a long list, and I downloaded that somewhere. But those studies ended somewhere around the early 90s. It was a long list of studies, but I wanted to find something more recent than the early 1990s. So I just by googling, I was able to pull up a number of studies, and I think I saved five or six that I thought were interesting and that I thought might be useful to someone else. And at that time, I thought, hey, maybe I can put this up on YouTube, and it'll be useful to someone else who's thinking about whether they should start smoking, or asking themselves questions about whether they should continue smoking or how often they should smoke. So I just never got around to it. But when I light up, I usually watch some of your videos, and so I watched Philly Piper, Smokey Dan, most recently Mythical History, who looks like, I think he's going to be an interesting guy. I hope he tells some more stories and talks about um, his work in education. And anyway, I just see other people contributing, and I thought I have this one piece of content, and I might do five or six videos, and I'll try to make them kind of short and get to the point. What does the science say? So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll see how it goes. If anyone's anywhere in South Jersey or southeastern Pennsylvania, let me know, and we'll have a smoke.